Beetle. Beetle. Hey. What you doing out here? Right, you're not coming with us, are you? You're staying right here.
I'm taking us in. Let's hope we can find the big guy.
Fair enough. Better not to lose anybody else. Narrowly over that giant beam. I love the level transition. Very seamless. Of course, you can't quite see the outside from here either. It's a bright light. Well, I think Melville might be staying there. Just you and me. Left, right, or straight ahead? That looks like a very promising direction. What's this way? Broken elevator? Yep. And this way... Terminal. From Eustathius to Athena. Dearest Athena, I don't know if you will see this. You've become even more distant from the affairs of New Jerusalem than I have. Misspeaking to you and Cornelius, and I fear that some of your estrangement is my own fault. I know things are not as how you would wish them to be, and the city is drifting away from that bold vision you established. This is not because of your leadership, or a lack thereof. You did not fail. I did. I know I've said it before, but the New Alexandria disaster was my fault. I'm the one who took the initiative, and I'm the one who made the mistake. Yes, there should have been procedures in place, but it was my role to create such procedures, Athena, not yours. I wish I had listened to Byron when he said we had to establish another settlement Just checking, I'm reading that right. I wish I had listened to Byron when he said we had to establish another settlement immediately. Learn from the pain, don't let it fester. He was right, and that's where the rot set in, and I'm sorry. With love, Eustathius. From the author's note to Athena Reborn, a novel. If my work has meant something to you, if Athena had any kind of impact on you, if some story and wonder tales from the periphery moved you or made you think, then there is something about myself that I need to share with you. It's the only autobiographical fact I have any interest in sharing. The only thing about me that matters to you outside my work. Every breath I take, and so every story I write, is only possible because of technology. There are no natural remedies, no spiritual alternatives for what I was born with. My existence is wholly contingent upon a level of technological sophistication which was heretofore unimaginable, and which will in many ways define the coming era. When you long for a return to simpler times, you wish for a world in which I could not exist. If you are looking for answers, consider the fact that I was granted the blessing of this technology despite being born into poverty, and my writing never having been particularly luxuriative. The civilizational structures I live within were arranged in such a way that this technology would be deployed to save my life. And are these structures not also, at the end of the day, a kind of machine? What is the state? What is civilization, if not a machine? Think about what this means, what this is. Is it systemic compassion? Is it liberation from nature? Is it equality of opportunity? Whatever your belief system, think hard about what it means that I am alive because of these machines, and I have created something that matters to you. Thank you for reading. Excerpted from Orthodoxy by G.K. Chesterton. All the towering materialism that dominates the modern mind rests ultimately upon one assumption, a false assumption. It is supposed that if a thing goes on repeating itself, it is probably dead, a piece of clockwork. People feel that if the universe was personal, it would vary. If the sun were alive, it would dance. This is a fallacy, even in relation to known fact. For the variation in human affairs is generally brought into them not by life, but by death. By the dying down or breaking off of their strength or desire. A man varies his movements because of some slight element of fatigue or failure. But perhaps God is strong enough to exult in monotony. It is possible that God says every morning, "Do it again," to the sun, and every evening, "Do it again," to the moon. It may not be automatic necessity that makes all daisies alike. It may be that God makes every daisy separately, but has never gotten tired of making them. It may be that he has the eternal appetite of infancy, for we have sinned and grown old, and our Father is younger than we. It's strange. The idea is delightful, but also obviously and completely untrue. That's one of many reasons Chesterton is worth reading. He's wrong about a lot of things, but he's wrong about them in an interesting way. It's such a shame, though. He seems to want to restore the magic of the world, but he can only re-enchant the surface, whereas the true magic, the perfect beauty that feels like revelation, is found underneath in what he dismisses as clockwork. From Hypatia's Journals, Day 680. New Jerusalem. That's the name we picked. My suggestion didn't win. Maybe a little. But it is a good name, a fitting name, a name that we can be proud of. With it comes a new kind of optimism. Everyone is thinking of the future once more. I, for one, am glad that we have recovered our equilibrium and our determination. Athena and Cornelius are certainly bustling with plans and bright visions of the future, and when they tell us these dreams of theirs, it's hard not to be drawn in by the pretty pictures they paint. Speaking of which, I'm becoming more and more fascinated with ancient human art, and thinking about our own role in taking that next step in that long story. Citizens of Gehenna found meaning in art, and they are imprisoned. A free people should be able to accomplish so much more. We're going to be waiting for the lift to start moving. That's how we become separated from each other. Another lift? This one works.
Yay! I found another elevator. My favorite.
So did I.
Once again, I have no idea where I am. No sign of Prometheus so far. Hope you're doing better, 1K.
This is some kind of cable car contraption?
I know I've said this before, but look at the size of this. How can all of this be one machine?
This is what you get when one machine builds a bigger machine, which builds an even bigger machine.
That's our whole history, isn't it? The whole history of humankind. And it's not just machines. It's science, it's literature. Knowledge builds on knowledge.
I mean, if we're calling the universe a machine, and I am perfectly willing to do that, then that's the biggest machine of all. At least that we're aware of. Hello there.
Be careful, 1K. We don't know what's down there.
A very large statue by the looks of it. And a bunch of chains. Okay. That didn't do anything. It's gonna be the final step then. That is the place with the best view. Let's go around clockwise as we do. That's just a nice straightforward piece. That goes that way. So that, and that. Relatively straightforward a bridge. Here's another. Whoa, that's a weird piece as well. This is the only possible piece. What is this? Do I need this? How do I get up there? Can't jump from here. Doesn't go anyway. Oh, I can just jump onto this wall. Warp. Alright, now I'm the right way up again. Good. Components of any bridge yet. A mere two-piece bridge. I wonder whether Pandora's gonna show up at some point to attempt to prevent this. Or whether I can go about my task unhindered. There's no actual puzzle over there, just bridges. Just bridges. Bridges and bridges and bridges. Two down. Not much to say about all this, it's just running in bridges. Bridges, running, and building pension. Might save that direction for last. It looks like the biggest and the most imposing direction. Let's go this way. Parkour. There's the drone. Hello, drone. This loops around? Yeah. Hello up there.
I don't think you can get up here, 1K. Guess I'll have to do a puzzle after all. It can't be that hard, right? It's not like everyone is depending on me.
Uh-huh. I'm sure you'll be fine.
But if this has to connect over here, then... Wait. If I do this, and then that... What?
What?
I did it! Wow! I feel really smart. Also, never doing that again.
Nice job. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Whoa. The chain came real close to that platform. Teamwork. Oh, hello. Upside down bridging. Let's see. Easy. Going up. Anything else up here? Nope. One more. The gap. How did I get here again? This way. Back up the long staircase. Basically just a spiral staircase. Like so. Now where? Up there? That's no good. I suppose I can get up anyhow. Doesn't look like it. How do I get the required elevation then? This also just points upwards. That's great. This clearly is not the right angle. What am I doing with this one? Doesn't fit. Wait, it does fit? It's just upside down. Yeah, I need to exit being on that wall. So that's going to involve you being last, I'm pretty sure. But I also don't see how that could possibly be the case. Unless it's like this. Unless it's like this. In which case it works perfectly well. Dead-end platform. Kind of. Sort of. If there wasn't a bridge right here. Nice wall. Can you even call this a bridge? Building a wall and then climbing the wall. A lesser spotted sideways bridge. And that's the last of them. Big flat expanse of water up here. How is this gonna play out? Here goes nothing. Release the Prometheus.
you, Son of Man, for breaking my chains. Too long has the flame been hidden by fear and mystery. It is time to put away these childish things and for you to know the truth of the Alpha and the Omega, of the beginning and the end. I will send you visions of the truth, but remember that prophecies are a heavy burden.
New Jerusalem sounds like such a beautiful place. So, how did you decide to leave? I know what we're trying to accomplish here, and I believe in it. But for you, New Jerusalem was home. What changed that?
It took me a long time to realize that something was wrong. Oh, I'd noticed that something was off, that something had changed since the early days, but I couldn't really put my finger on it. So I ignored it. And then one day I woke up to realize I was no longer Athena. Instead, I had been transformed into the Founder, a remote figure of legend mythologized in my own time.
But if it bothered you, couldn't you just talk to them? If you share the truth with someone, they should change their mind, shouldn't they?
Oh, I wished it worked that way, Miranda, I really do, but I barely knew the last generations. In the beginning, I was there for every birth. I explained our history, talked about our future, but at some point I got so busy building that future that I lost touch. They thought of me as a remote figure because that's what I was.
But can you change that?
I tried, but they already saw me as the Founder. The myth was too powerful, and it was already taking on a life of its own. I'd set a goal of 1,000 citizens. The number was arbitrary. Just a nice round number, nothing more. But just like I became the Founder, it became the goal. Another part of the myth. And maybe that could have been all right. Myths are a part of who we are, but something else crept in. The old human self-hatred.
So why didn't you just tell them to change? To go a different way? They would have listened to you.
No, they would have obeyed me, like my siblings in the simulation had obeyed. And that's when I realized I had to leave.
We can show them the future, Miranda, but we can't force them to accept it.
I have it. After all this time, I have it. I finally have it. The mechanics of the cosmos. From quarks to galactic filaments. Everything that makes the world what it is, makes us who we are. In a single equation. The key to understanding the machine that is the universe, and to controlling it. A theory of everything. And she was right. The language of creation is a melody, and it's beautiful. Every future is possible now. Every future, except one with Miranda in it. I can do anything, except bring her back. Or unbreak Cornelius's heart.
Byron was right. The Founder was always a fiction. She's just a person.
A theory of everything. She solved it. She solved the last puzzle.
You need to get out of there. We'll talk about this later.
She left because of free will, basically. Because while she was around, she knew people would just obey her, rather than think for themselves.
All this time, we thought we were honoring Athena, but all we did was betray everything she believed in. She must have been so lonely. We might as well have exiled her. Maybe that's what all this is about. The puzzles, the towers, the entities. It's a test. A way for us to prove that we're worthy of her legacy.
Finally, it all makes sense. Anti-gravity, matter synthesis, teleportation. It's not just one new technology. It's control over physics. Manipulating the base layer of reality itself. Rearranging the building blocks of the universe. If we can gain control of the megastructure, we can do anything we want. I'm not even talking about our energy problem. We can build anything we want. We can go anywhere we want. It's all up to us.
That's what Athena wanted for us. To give us a chance to be who we want to be.
Is everyone okay?
All good. I'm taking us back now.
That's a relief. Meanwhile, there's been a development. You'll see when you land. How are things on your end?
The energy fluctuations seem to be dying down. Looks like the system is coming out of lockdown.
Good. Let's hope we don't regret this.
Ooh, going under the beam this time.
And these energy clouds just fly about? That seems terribly dangerous.
We haven't had any problems so far.
Except for losing one of the first companions, of course. No, I don't blame you, Al. I know what he's like. And I'm the one who agreed to all this in the first place. That's why I had to see it for myself. It is dreadfully imposing, though, isn't it? Hard to believe the founder would build something so sinister.
The mayor's here?
Well, this should be interesting.
Interesting indeed. Where did he get that giant key from? Who does he think he is? A Kingdom Hearts character? Well, that's how he got here. That's how several of them got here, apparently. Hello!
Ah, 1K. Welcome back. I'm sure you're surprised by my presence here. Don't worry, neither I nor my advisors will be getting in your way. But I've decided that I need to see this place for myself. These visions sent to you by the entity that calls itself Prometheus are deeply concerning, of course. But we cannot take them at face value. In fact, it's crucial that we do not do so. We cannot simply abandon all that we believe because of a dream, no matter how vivid.
Actually... yes,
No. If the founder really built all this, then it must have a purpose. It must be a test, designed to remind us of the trials that created us. But what is she trying to tell us? What are we being tested for? I believe that Byron's fate shows us the dangers of temptation. As Elohim attempted to deceive Athena in the simulation, commanding her not to ascend, so Prometheus is deceiving us with his visions.
You sure do talk a lot, don't you?
That's only reasonable, but I would ask you to think about what I said. After all, can it really be a coincidence that you came along on this mission? It seems to me that you have been chosen. You are the fulfillment of the goal. Don't forget that.
Sure. Good boy. Light's kind of blurry. It's like some misty, foggy thing going on in here. But anyway, all of that aside, I have more puzzles to solve. Let's go to the Western Delta, a river valley gradually drowned by the encroaching sea. The brackish water is a unique ecosystem with many endemic species.
How's the system looking, Melville? Any obvious changes?
It's still a mess, but things are clearing up. I can access some of the subroutines that I was locked out of before. Nothing is obviously malfunctioning, I think.
Does it still accord special significance to 1K?
Yes, it recognizes 1K as a user. I'm just hacking things.
As I suspected, the Founder sees you, 1K.
It's a possibility. It's also a possibility that it's mere coincidence. Pretty autumnal-looking area.
What can I do for you, 1K?
Cry? Do we even have the ability to cry anymore? Do you think the goal is a myth?
As a journalist, I think the line between speculation and disinformation is too thin for me to engage in guessing games.
Fair enough. What are your thoughts on the theory of everything?
It's a complex issue, and I think it should be left to experts.
Bless you. Tell me about yourself.
I believe that journalism serves an important function in our society, and I'm dedicated to reporting the truth with accountability and responsibility.
What does responsibility mean in the context of your work?
It means understanding that I can't just publish things without considering their impact. Serious disruptions to the social fabric of New Jerusalem could endanger lives. That's not journalism anymore.
That's all. And you?
Hi, 1K.
Do you think the goal is a myth?
It's a myth, it's a symbol, but mostly, it's just a goal.
What's your vision of the future?
Holistic, tech-assisted, communal utopia. I'd settle for nudging the needle.
What are your thoughts on the theory of everything?
Not totally implausible. I wouldn't be able to resist taking a look.
How was your relationship with Byron?
We respected each other and I supported him. We had our philosophical differences, of course. He placed much greater emphasis on the individual than I did, but overall I think he was our best bet. Still is, I hope.
Tell me about yourself.
That's because I find such conversations boring.
Or don't. That's all. Rather more autumnal-looking place. Servitor. We have a platform that runs along a track. Fine. I can also jump on top of it. Oh, and it only moves when I'm pointing the laser at it. Fine. Got a second connector. So this does that and shuts down that, and I need through there with a blue laser. Fine. So, first of all, we're gonna need to do that, I think. Maybe not from there, but, well... I don't suppose you can hold down the button. Seems unlikely. You can, even though you're not actually on the button. You float. Fine. Come on. That and that. And now that and that. Whoop. Back a little. And we're through. Nice. You're kind of a less
I know
dangerous.
you're all thinking about the goal and the theory of everything. Is the past what we thought it was? Is the future what we want it to be? But the only thing that's real, at the end of the day, is the present. And right now, what matters is that our friend is lost and needs our help.
As I was saying, platforms are kind of like the previous game, the travelling mines that you can put boxes on and then put things on top of those, but you don't even need a box to put on it. It's just a moving platform. You do need a laser pointing at it though. Different in that regard. We need red around there. You also have a box on you, even though it's not wholly necessary. Alright, well. That ain't gonna work. I can open the door, but I can't get you moving. And there's round there. I'm gonna need the box. I think fairly obviously. Okay, what I can maybe do is get an angle around here. Now I can get you moving. You there, give box. I think I'm kind of stuck back here now. Yeah. Do I even? I do not even. I can do that. I don't need to bother opening that at all. In fact, I might not need to bother with most of this now that I have you. Oh, yes I do. Alright. Moving. Connect you. Am I gonna need the box for this, or do you have enough height from right here? I'm gonna need the box. Can I stack you on top easily? Not really. want to put you up there. Don't really have a whole lot of height for that. Okay. Possibly simpler plan. No, that won't work because of the way that's shaped. At least I don't think so. There's no good line of sight here, is there? Yeah, nothing. This definitely seems correct. Just how do I stack you like I want to? Yeah, this isn't gonna work. It has to be using you, surely. Need the extra little bit of height somehow. Alternatively, impossible. This ought to be fairly straightforward. Just reach upwards. Get up there. I don't think moving you is going to achieve anything whatsoever. You're at much the same height no matter where you are. You can reach the emitter from over there. I don't think that's useful. But maybe. Okay, what if I bring this end upwards? You're connected over there. So, a bit of height over here. There we go. Just trying to gain height in the wrong place. Fox. The goal, make a thread. I recognise that many citizens feel the need to discuss the visions experienced by 1K, which suggest that perhaps certain aspects of what we have hitherto believed about the Founder and the goal may be inaccurate. However, given the controversy around the subject matter, I will ask everyone to be particularly careful in how they express themselves. I think we have final and irrevocable proof that we have strayed from Athena's original vision. I agree. But I would like to submit that even if that weren't the case, deliberately engineering an energy-poor feature would still be a disastrous and a misanthropic idea. How do we know any of this is real? Athena's voice is just Alexandra Drennan's. I could switch to the same voice pack right now and record myself telling you that the gold is the truth. Memphis makes a good point. Objective truth is not a concept that can be applied to the world we live in. Fine, then we can just collectively decide to believe in something else, right? Doesn't even have to be Athena. Let's just believe in Byron's ideas instead. Byron's ideas are a technological fantasy. But if it's all arbitrary, what does that matter? I just don't buy this whole goal thing anymore. Byron was right. Does it matter what Athena believes? Honest question. Let's say the Founder is a myth that was constructed around her. In that scenario, what do we owe Athena at the end of the day? A good answer, 1K. Decency and empathy. That's what we need most in this city. Hear, hear. It's hear, hear, you moron. So... Or none of this matters, because it's actually aliens. Wouldn't that be a twist, if it really was? Hello, platform. Going to assume I just wanted to bring you out of there. Also open up that, and I want red back here. Okay. Case. Hold on. I need to be aiming at that somehow. possible to bring you through here? Suppose maybe I don't need to. Maybe I can just do it with this. Hold on. Reopen. You need to be aiming at that, and that, and that. And sure, that too. Why not? You mosey on back over here. I think this should let me all the way through. It does! Great. Just what I like to see.
Hey, can we talk for a second?
Yes, that's why I initiated this conversation.
I'm still struggling. I was really hoping we'd find Miranda alive. Her way of seeing the world was so inspiring. And the idea that I can never get to know her, that she's gone.
I'm sorry.
I guess I've never really been good at dealing with death. Maybe because it's so rare in New Jerusalem. Except for pets, and even in that case, I find it very hard to deal with. I still missed my first cat, and it's been over a century since she died. When someone dies, it's this void. I know I should just let it go, but some part of me refuses. And I feel like that part, it hurts me, but it also keeps me human. And I know it would be healthier if I said, okay, Miranda is someone I never met. She's just a bunch of glitchy old files. But if I do that, as rational as it seems, it feels like I'm surrendering something. Something that matters. Interesting. I hadn't thought of pain as something you can use. If I can take the pain and use it to create something or to do something, maybe that's a way of not surrendering to death. Thanks, 1K. I'm really gonna think about that.
Do I have anything else to ask you?
Of course, go ahead.
Oh, I do. What do you think about the mayor?
I think he's done his best. I don't disrespect him, but I'm not sure he's leading us down the right path. Despite everything that's gone wrong here, I'm not sure we should just reject what the megastructure has to offer.
Do you ever think about your future?
On the one hand, there's so much we could do with the theory of everything. So many lives I could live. I have enough ideas for the next, 20,000 years, easily. And that's just from 5 minutes of thinking about it. On the other hand, Miranda's gone. So much hope, so much grief. I don't know how to balance that.
How's Bruce?
I hear he escaped Pellegrino and peed all over Melville's workshop, so apparently he's doing great. I miss him, though. I always feel like the fact that he likes me is a huge compliment. Lifts me up somehow.
Do you think the goal is just a myth?
Honestly, I'm not sure how I couldn't see it more clearly before. It doesn't match anything Alexander Drennan believed in, and continuing Drennan's legacy was Athena's whole point.
Tell me something irrelevant. Speak more words to me.
In the ancient year 1969, a band called Mellow Macaron wrote a psychedelic rock song about the Talos principle. It's called Cretan Bronze Man's Flying Mystery Adventure.
I think I heard about that from the first game. I believe it was mentioned. Not the title, just the fact there was a song about the Talos principle. Weird title.
You should see the rest of the album. There's a song about a disembodied tongue called The Taste of Your Elbow. It's 15 minutes long and features an improvised tuba solo.
Ah yes, art. Is it any good?
I think you need psychedelics to enjoy it, really. Maybe if you stick your head inside a really large magnet.
That sounds dangerous to us. Now that you've solved one puzzle, how about another? Another puzzle? Puzzling good?
Nope, but at least I finally understand why Athena wanted to get out of the simulation so badly.
I like puzzles. That's why I'm playing this game. I suppose if you did solve some of them, there would be fewer left for me. Shouldn't complain, really.